Good day everyone once again. Welcome to Say Busy Made It Easy channel. Today we are going to start our lesson with a recap of our previous lesson, rounding up of numbers. And I've written a figure on the board, and this figure has 10 digits. And when a figure has 10 digits, it's in billions. So we are going to pronounce it together. So we have 9,792,797,981. So 9,792,797,981. We are going to run it quickly to the nearest hundred. And as we learned in the previous lesson, rounding up of numbers in nearest hundred, we know nearest tens, 10, 100, 2 zeros. So this one is nearest 100. So meaning it should end with 2 zeros. So quickly, the 1 will be 0. Now the 8 will be 0. We are supposed to end on this 8 to make it 2 0. But the 8 is a roundable number. So we carry 1 here to make here 10. We don't write all the 10. We write here 0. And the remainder 1, we carry it here to make here 8. Then you repeat the rest of the numbers. 9, 7, then we have our 2, 9, 7, then we have our 9. It was supposed to be 2 zeros, but the problem was because here is a roundable number, we added it here to make it 10 and we carry it forward. That's why it is 3 zeros, but it is correct. It is correct. Now, nearest 1,000. Nearest 100 is supposed to be 2 zeros. Nearest 1,000. Now, we should have 3 zeros. So, 1, 2, 3. So, this 3 digits will be 0. So, here will be 0. Here will be 0. Here 2 will be 0. Yes, here will be 0. And here is a roundable number. So we carry the 1 here, making here to 8. So you repeat it. 9, 7. Then we have our 2, 9, 7. Then our 9. This seems the same. But the problem was here, the nearest 100, instead of the 2 zeros, we ended here and added the 1 here and brought it here. And here, nearest 1,000, 3 zeros. Now, 1, 2, 3, we are supposed to end and make here 0. We carry the 1 forward, that's why. It seems the same figures, but they are correct. Now, nearest 10,000. So, tens, 1 0, 100, 2 zeros, 1,000, 3 zeros. Then, nearest 10,000 will have 4 zeros. So, what you have to understand is that nearest tens, the focus is on the ones figure. Nearest 100, the focus is on the tens figure. Nearest 1,000, the focus is on the 100 figure. So here that it is 10,000, the focus is going to be on the 1,000 figure. That's where you are going to end. So here will be 0 up to this end. So here will be 0, here 0, here 0. So the focus is here. You're supposed to end here. So here will be 0. It's a roundable number. Yes, you carry 1 here. So here will be 10. So you write to 0, then you carry the 1 forward, you make here 8. So repeat the rest of the numbers. 2, 9, 7, then 9. So this is a recap of our previous lesson. So if there's any question, you leave it in the comment section and we are going to pay attention to it and make sure you get it. Now let's move quickly to today's lesson, rounding down. We learned our previous lesson that rounding up is used to make high estimate. Now rounding down too is used to make low estimate. Now something that used to be sold at 7 cedis, 40 pesos. And you've heard that they are reducing price of items. These days we all know they are reducing the price of items. So something that used to cost 7 cedis, 40 pesos. So if they have reduced it, you can run it down. That okay. If they have reduced it, then now you should expect a price of what? 7 Ghana cedis. It means this figure has been run down. This figure has been run down. Unlike when you go and maybe they have increased the price, then maybe you run it up to maybe 7 cedis, 50 pesos or 8 Ghana cedis. That means you have run it up. Now, in running a figure down, after you have finished, you make sure that the figure you have run down is lesser than the figure you are working with. So let's say we have a figure like this. 3,842. And we are asked to round it down to the nearest tens. We are going to round it down to the nearest tens. Now, to round it down to the nearest tens, how many zeros do we need? We need 1 0. Yes, we need 1 0 means, so here is going to be 0. So you change here to 0, then here will be 4, here will be 8, then here will be 3. We have rounded down because when you compare 3,840 to 3,842, this is lesser than this. We've rounded down. Now, another figure. 42,628. We are going to round it down to the nearest 100. 100, as we all know, how many zeros do we need? 2 zeros. So here will be 0, here will be 0, then here will be 6, then here will be 2, here will be 4. We have rounded down because when we look at 42,600 to 42,628, this is lesser than this. We have rounded down. Now let's take a higher figure, like maybe 8,648,678. Then let's round it down to the nearest 1,000. Now, nearest 1,000 means how many zeros do we need? So 100, 2 zeros, 1,000, 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. Now somebody will ask, 3 zeros here. We ended here. Now are we supposed to add 1 to here? No. We are running it down. We are only going to add 1 here. So you maintain it. Just change this to zeros, then repeat the figures here. Why didn't you add 1 here? Because when you add 1 here, here is going to be 9. And if here becomes 9, it will be 8,649,000, which will be more than the figure you are running down. That's why we say we are running it down. So we look at this, say 8,648,000 as compared to 8,648,678. This is lesser than this. This is how we run down figures. So in running down figures, the roundable number application doesn't work here. But after you have finished, check the figure to see and make sure that it is lesser in the correct form. So let's have another higher figure. Another higher figure, like maybe 72,486,392. Now, let's round this figure down. Let's round it down to the nearest, let's say, million. We know million has 6 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to end here. So here will be 0. This one will be 0. Here will be 0. Bring your comma. Here will be 0. Here will be 0. Here will be 0. So we are ending here. So we have changed this one. So you write 72. So this one is what? 72 what? Million. Now, so as I was saying, now when you compare the 72 million to this figure, you can see this is what? Down. Yes. So in rounding now, when the number is a roundable number or not roundable, it doesn't work here. But the number of zeros is what you have to take note of. So we have run this to the nearest. We have run it down to the nearest million. So let's say we have to run it down to the nearest 10 million. So 10 million means, so if million has 6 zeros, so 10 million is going to have 7 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so 7. So here it will be 0 up to this point. So all this will be 0, 0, 0, 0. Then this one will be 0, 0, 0, 0. Then the 2, 2 is going to be 0. Then you write this. So we have run it down to the nearest 70 million. Yes, to nearest 10 million, so 70 million. So when you look at it, it is down 70 million as compared to 72,486,392. So this brings us to the end of the running down. And if you have any question on this, you can just leave it in the comment section. And to recap this, we run this one down to the nearest 10. How many zeros? 1 0. Yes, 1 0. So when you run 1 0 here, we didn't add anything here. Although the 2 is not a roundable number. So 1 0. And when you look at this, it is lesser than this. So it's correct. Now this figure 2, running it down to the nearest 100, how many zeros? 100, 2 zeros, 1, 2 zeros. So you bring this one 2 is down. When we came here, 1,000, 1, 2, 3, 1,000 3 zeros. We were supposed to end here. But if it was round up, like you add 1 to the 8, because this is a roundable number. But because you're rounding it down, if you change this to 3 zeros, don't add 1 here. Repeat the figures. And when you look at this, 8,648,000 as compared to 8,648,078, this is down as compared to this. So this is the secret about the rounding down. Yes, as compared to the round up here, that here we rounded up. So here, the difference between the round up and the round down is that with the round up, when you end on the number, that is a roundable number. Now let me use this one. Assuming this one was round up, and we're rounding it up to the nearest 1,000. 3 zeros is needed. So 1, 2, 3 zeros. You end on the 6. You add 1 here to make here 9. That is a round up. But because this one is round down, we ended here, we didn't add anything. So when you look at this figure, it's lesser than the figure itself. So the difference is when you're rounding down, the number of zeros you are looking for, when you end on that figure, whether it is roundable or not roundable, don't add 1 to the figure in front of it. But when it's a round up, and the number you end on is a roundable number, from 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, add 1 to the figure in front of it. So this is the main difference between rounding up numbers and rounding down whole numbers. Yes. In our next lesson, we will be looking at decimals as well and other interesting topics. Don't forget to subscribe to Sebisi Made It Easy channel. Recommend to all students to also have a benefit again. Until we meet again, we say goodbye for now. Thank you all.